Larry Kershaw family memories. Larry Kershaw family, season's greetings, 1977. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
We hope that all of you children will have a wonderful Christmas and a Happy New Year.
This is when we were sitting down to turkey dinner for Christmas.
We want to make sure that you're all invited to a Thanksgiving dinner with us anytime. This is when Grandma was just a little girl, just started to school, blue dress, a red schoolhouse on her dress.
This is Grandpa when he started to school, Blissville Elementary School. This is Grandpa in his bib overalls. This was something that we always wore at that time.
Here's my brothers and sisters in Sugar City playing in the sand pile. I'm holding the doll. There's Myron and Marjorie and Wanda. Here we are in the hay fields. This is the time that we are taking care of the grain. I'm on the tractor and Myron and Grandpa.
Myron Evans, prior to going on his mission to the Central Atlantic States Mission.
Here we are when we all went and got him from his mission. We're in Arizona coming home. Grandpa and Grandma Evans and Myron and I just returned from our mission together. Here's Sister Kilburn and the two ladies in the middle are Ronnie Jager and Sister Newell, and they were just after they were baptized.
We were digging potatoes in the fall of the year, and I rode the horse up the road, and then they would hook it onto the potato digger, and we'd dig potatoes. I was very angry at my mother because she stopped me and took my picture that day. My cap is behind me.
Here's Micah on a horse. Doesn't he look like Grandpa?
Here we are in California when George, my brother, was on a mission in 1951. Here we are in Bloomington, Illinois. President Isaac A. Smoot, Sister Smoot. This is when President McKay and Sister McKay came to dedicate the Madison, Wisconsin branch. This is Sister Davenport in the center.
Here's Eddie Grover Evans, our little Eddie that lived with us after his mother passed away. Here I am just before I left on my mission. We sure enjoyed him.
This is cutting the cake at our wedding reception. However, the cake wouldn't cut because it was pans.
We always have a good joke about that. Here we are. We're married June the 20th, 1958. Our first home.
This was a cinder block home that was built just east of Dad and Mom's home. This was our first home. Here we are, family portrait, right after we came to the Nampa area. This is Nelda and her 5 girls, and time has sure went by. There's Myron, Glenn, myself, when they were just young boys. And here they're growing up a little bit. They always enjoyed wearing ties.
They wanted to be just like their dad. White shirts and ties were their best outfit.
This was when Joseph Fielding Smith was put in as prophet, seer, and revelator, and we as a family traveled to Salt Lake to see him.
Here's Larry in front of the CUNA church. Here's Grandpa and Grandma Evans' 50th wedding anniversary. Here's all my brothers and sisters, Elihu, Paul, Faye, Verla, Marjorie, Myron. All of our family attended that were here. Brenda was the baby. They looked so proud on their 50th wedding anniversary.
This was Grandpa and Grandma Kershaw's 50th wedding anniversary with Hi Kershaw, Larry Kershaw, George Kershaw, LaFont Andrews. This is Nelda and her 5 daughters. She always enjoyed sewing for them and making things for them. This is Larry and his 2 sons, Myron and Glenn. I always enjoyed those 2 boys. This is Nelda.
Here we are at Roberts before we moved to Boise. Here's at Nampa, just before Janie was married.
This was at Roberts, Idaho. This was taken before we left to come to Boise, Idaho. This was the home there at Roberts in front of the house. This is taken in Salt Lake City in front of this monument for 3 witnesses to the Book of Mormon. And here were Glenn and Myron and myself had our pictures taken. Myron, this was taken in Roberts, Idaho. Picture of our dog that we had there. It was very outstanding in our family at that time.
The kids are just ready to come out in the morning of Christmas. Here Myron's a baby and Ann's holding him. There's Janie and Susan. I can't see Brenda. Is Brenda there? And Glenn's in the front. They're all ready to go to church here. It's when Ann was on her mission.
This was a portrait taken of Larry and Nelda Kershaw.
Fay and Ronald just before they left on their mission. Aunt Fay and Uncle Ronald Danzy. Where'd they go, Larry?
They went to California, Northern California mission.
Uncle Kenneth and Aunt Verla Price. They look so cute there together. Myron and Lois and all their family. Of course, they have some more now. David was the caboose, but that's not so. They have Nathan and Samuel now.
This is Nelda's mother and her daughters and daughter-in-laws.
It's at Aunt Marjorie's. Here's in front of the Idaho Falls Temple with all of our relatives. This is the time that Rhea and Frank's, one of their children, got married. Here's the kids' favorite picture of Larry. I'm sure they'll recognize this. And Larry had a flat tire, so he jumped off on one of the kids' go-kart. That's what it was, go-kart. He went to get it fixed. Here's Grandpa and Grandma Kershaw and little Kathy when she was a baby, right in front of their home. There's one of our favorite dogs, Dusty. He was a real smart dog. Larry and Nelda and Kathy, in front of our first home. What a joy.
This was taken at the zoo in Idaho Falls at Tophus Park, and this is Kathy looking at the bears. We always enjoyed to go down there and take a picnic and go through the park.
The little pups that we always had at home. The children enjoyed those so much. Kathy is a baby.
Here in front of the home there at Louisville, our first home, Kathy, standing, learning to walk. This was on our trip that we went to Seattle, Washington. And
We stopped to the Yellowstone. And if you look right back there, you can see some of the Yellowstone Park. Kathy when she was a baby. Now she's 2 years old.
she looks a lot like her. Sarah looks a lot like her in some of Sarah's pictures.
Growing up here, she's 3, 3.5. We had plans for all our children. We felt like that you'd enjoy seeing each one of these going to school.
This was taken when we was in Roberts, Idaho.
Yes, I believe she went 2 years to Louisville. How long did she go to Louisville? 2 years?
2 years, first and second grade.
Or three or something, and then she went to Roberts. And then she graduated from CUNA. Her best friend was Kathy Stallings. And they shortly enjoyed going together, having fun, doing things together. She's in high school. Such a cute girl. Here she graduated from CUNA High School. Well, what year did she graduate from? She met Ross here right after we moved. Here's his graduation picture.
He graduated also from CUNA High School. This
Here.
was the night of her graduation, or the afternoon, when she received her diploma at the CUNA gymnasium.
Here's her engagement picture. They have both of them the most beautiful flowers on. They went, got their picture taken. They were so happy. They went to Salt Lake City to get her endowments here.
This was on Temple Square, and this was really quite an occasion for us when Kathy received her endowments and went through the temple.
Yes, Ross had people there that were going to the temple for the first time, and we were able to witness them being sealed. And then on May the 3rd, they got married in the Idaho Falls Temple.
They're in front of the Idaho Falls Temple after they were married. Here is another picture of Ross and Kathy in front of the temple. That was quite an occasion.
They're my father there, Grandpa Evans. They're all so happy. Myron and Glenn look so happy. And Kathy's so cute.
Ann was standing in the back.
Here's their two sisters, Janie and Ann. There's her best friend, Kathy Stallings.
In front of the Idaho Falls Temple. Very beautiful occasion.
They had their reception at CUNA. There's Myron and Glenn. Kathy in front of the Idaho Falls Temple. Here's Ann when she was a baby. She loved to go on the merry-go-round.
We used to go to Rexburg, and I think it cost like 10 or 15 cents and a ride, and the kids really enjoyed it. It was a city park. This is in front of our home, Louisville, and this was Ann.
You can see Kathy there between them.
This is Kathy and Ann riding the merry-go-round in Rexburg.
Christmas morning. Don't they look so happy and so cute with all their toys? They always loved each other
This
so
is
very much.
dresses that their mother sewed, and they were just exactly alike.
Here's Christmas morning too. And when she was just a tiny baby.
Here she's getting just a little older, growing up.
Do you see her long stockings that she'd wear so the kids would keep warm? This is 3 years old.
Ann was a little older here, and she was going to school. Here you can see her ringlets, natural curly hair. She always hadn't natural curly hair, and she'd get it wet, why it'd go natural curly and just curl right up close to her head.
She's getting more mature, and when I talked to her teacher once, I thought she was the mother instead of me. The teacher loved her so much.
Here she was in high school, and she's a young lady now.
Graduated from Cuna High School also. This was taken the day she left to go to Salt Lake to start her mission.
She served her mission down in Buenos Aires, Argentina. She met Karen Free from Seattle, Washington, and Karen was going to the same mission as Anne. They became very close friends.
There she's pointing to where she's going, South America. Here's the mission companions that she had when she arrived there.
She enjoyed her stay there in Argentina. This is another one of her companions.
Here she is coming home. She looked so cute when she came, her pink bow, and so thrilled to get home. We're so happy to have her. Here's her mission president here, the president's sister, Faust. The day that she said goodbye to them, it was hard for her, she said. Here she is in South America. Beautiful place down there. We must remember, all of us, that when we have winter, they have summer. When they have summer, we have winter.
This is in front of a home there in Cuna, Idaho.
The day that she reported. All the kids in front of the seminary building ends on her mission here. And this is right before Janie got married.
Our muscle man in the front there. He always likes to flex his muscles.
We're so proud of Anne. Graduated from BYU. Her dad and her.
It's quite an occasion. We had the privilege of meeting L. Tom Perry there and shaking his hand, and it was a real joy. He made quite a fuss over Anne, and she shall never forget this.
Her favorite colors have always been red. So she had red earrings, red shoes, and red dress and accessories. Graduated, so thrilled and grateful. Here's our Janie, the spice of life, where she got a blessed blue outfit. Started to school here.
She always enjoyed going out in the yard and seeing the animals, and one time I took her with me to get a load of hay, and there was this little rabbit running around, and she tried to catch it. Little hair was bouncing, and she says, wait for me, chasing the rabbit, try to catch it. And she is growing up real fast here. Here's her graduation picture.
She also graduated from Cuna. Beautiful girl. Here's our Susan Jeanette. At this time, she's on a mission. This is when she was blessed. She was blessed in a, is it pink or white? Can't remember. I wish they were in color right here, but she's a pixie. Cutest girl. Just a little pixie.
She always enjoyed fun things of life, and
Got a joke out of everything. And she's really can make a joke out of everything. She loved this dress, little yellow dress. So happy. She's just getting ready. Just getting close to starting to school here.
this was a blue dress, and crocheted collars. That was a real beautiful dress. Here she is in a red dress. She's growing up and really.
It was so cute. She won the cutest baby contest. So happy in grade school and high school.
Here she is in high school. She enjoyed her friends in high school, and they always got a kick out of her, and she always had a lot of fun with them.
Graduated from high school. So proud of her. Then she worked in a nursing home for a while, and then she got a job at Micron. She graduated from CUNA High School also.
CUNA was Micron was laying off quite a number of people, but she went through the whole layoff and was privileged to work there until she left to go on her mission. They told her to come back when she got back so that she'd have a job there when she got home.
She taught Sunday school, and her class gave her a bouquet of flowers and before she left on her mission. She's so happy to be leaving and preparing herself. You can see that she says, "I'm ready to go," and she was. Here she's pointing to where she's going. And where's that?
London, England South Mission. She is really and had some wonderful experiences there, met a lot of good people. She met several people who are from Africa, and one of them was baptized, and the rest of them has indicated that they want to be baptized.
In front of the London temple. I hope she wants to come home because she loves it there so much. Here's her president and sister Pinnaker. And she loves that mission president and his wife. They're so good to her. They're just little girls here, and we went on a visit one day to Wandeloo's. Brenda and Ann and Janie and Susan. Kathy was in school.
Here is Brenda, and she when we moved from Louisville to Roberts, she always wanted to go back to Louisville. She'd grab her mother and say, "Home, home," and she wanted to go back to Louisville.
It was hard to leave her home, wasn't it? She's such a cute little girl. Here she is ready to go to primary, and she loves the scriptures. This girl is one girl that has read the scriptures all of her life and loves them.
Here she's about ready to go to school. Here she is going to school at this time with her long blonde ringlets. She went to school in CUNA. Here's another one of her class pictures and as she went through school.
In the elementary school, she had to start in CUNA. She was quite young, but she has enjoyed going to school. Can you remember that dress, Brenda? You came home and you didn't think you had one, and you found one with 3 little turtles on the front.
Here she's a young lady. And this is daddy-daughter date. I always enjoyed going with my daughters to this daddy-daughter date, and I always seen that they had a little box of chocolates. Here she is graduating in the year of 1984.
Her graduation dress was a white one. She looks so grown up here.
This is her here she was, there's her graduation time and her blue fluff.
She walked with Doug Nelson.
I'll never forget, it seemed like they always had a graduation on a real warm night in the gym. Here she is going to Rick's College, and she wonders how she's going to get all the suitcases in the back of the car.
And Wayne Edwards helped her. She rode with him a date at Rick's College. She graduated from Rick's, and we're so proud of her. Here's Micah and Seth, Kathy and Leisha, Susan.
This was a happy day for Brenda. She always wanted to graduate from Rex, and it was a real beautiful day and quite a special occasion, both for her and for her parents.
Here we have Glenn. I guess we should say Butterball because that's what our girls have called him from the time he come home from the hospital. The kids loved him to play football. Always had a football for him to play with.
He was
Such a tease.
He was a large baby when he was born. He weighed 9.5 pounds. He was ready to eat when he was born, and he's really always enjoyed food, and he's really grew to be a large young man.
Handsome man. Such a joy to all the girls. I believe that they were so happy when he came that they just couldn't hardly, well, they called everybody in the whole ward announcing that he was born. He loved scouting. He received his Arrow of Light.
In the Cub Scouting program, he went to the top and received all of the awards. Here he is, a very proud young man going to school. He always enjoyed school. He took quite a pride in getting good grades and doing good in school. He always get along good with his teachers, and they always loved him because he minded them and always done what they told him to do. That was the Pinewood Derby when made little cars and raced them. Cuna, and he took third one year and went on to the district. There he was baptized in his white clothing. That was quite a special occasion for him.
Kids are dancing with the dogs there.
Here he's receiving the Aaronic priesthood, and a young man, and he always loved to wear a suit and tie. Here's one of his school pictures. He was always enjoyed these pictures.
Like his father said, he has done well in school. The Lord's blessed him. He's been able to do very well in school and enjoy the things that he's been able to. He's loved FFA.
He had the privilege one year of going to Moscow, and there he won so that he could go back to Kansas City and participate in the contests back in Kansas City, Missouri.
The girls have enjoyed him playing football more than he has enjoyed it. Micah, he's proud of Glenn receiving his Eagle Scout Award.
Here Glenn is sitting on Santa Claus' lap and asking Santa Claus for a few presents for Christmas. And here Glenn has always enjoyed working with sheep and his FFA projects, taking the lambs to the fair in Caldwell and also in Western County or Western State Fair at Boise. This is a time that he received his eagle and shows all of his merit badges.
He went to Baden-Powell and was the leader there of these other boys. This is one thing that he's really been proud of, to be able to participate in this. His prize lambs. It's a lot of hard work, but he's enjoyed doing this, taking them to the fair. His graduation picture. Looks like a missionary here, doesn't he? We had to get this with his suit on, but we also had another picture taken with his tux. And he looked like such a fine young graduating senior.
He will graduate from Cuna High School, and here's his picture in his tux, and he's always enjoyed this picture here of his horse. This is old Shorty, and he received this as a birthday present. He asked him what he wanted, and he said he wanted a horse for his birthday. Here's Myron and old Blue. This is Myron's horse, he has always enjoyed working with the horses. Grandpa and Grandpa Kershaw, Grandpa and Grandma Kershaw, in front of their home there at Louisville, Idaho. This was a time when, after Mother had had her stroke and she worked real diligent, come back, and she was real happy to always enjoyed her grandchildren. Do you want to turn it off? This is Larry and his two sons, Myron and Glenn. This front of a
Here they have their cats, their pets. Both of them enjoyed making this pine wood derby.
the little model car that they raced. This is a little drum that Myron made.
It might be a drum, but they're licking the pan for
Looks
candy.
like a drum.
They're cookies. Here's their friends are on the horse. Glenn and Maya, they're just little shavers, and they enjoyed riding the horse. Susan and Brenda, and then their friend. They're going fishing in a mud hole here. They're trying to catch their fish.
They always enjoyed going fishing.
This is just before Larry's folks had their 50th wedding anniversary. And all the children were dressed up, ready to go help and serve. Susan and Brenda were dressed alike, and they helped serve. And Christmas morning, Glenn wants to make sure Myron's his face is in the picture, but Myron's more interested in playing with his toys. Glenn and Myron and Susan, they're so happy on Christmas morning at Robert's, sitting out in the grass, and like I said, this is exactly the time when Grandpa and Grandma had their 50th wedding anniversary. Here's where Myron, can you remember when he walked away and went to sleep underneath the loading chute and we couldn't find him?
Here we have Glenn and Myron at Roberts, and I'll never forget, I pulled out of the yard one day with a swather, and Glenn come a-following me, and the neighbor woman picked him up and brought him back home, and he just squalled and fought and hollered, and he didn't want to go back home. He wanted to go and ride on the swather.
There's Myron with his cats. He has enjoyed his cats. He wrote a letter to Susan about the cats, and Susan wrote a letter back about the cats. They had a good conversation about those cats, what's happening to them. One of them got lost, and then they found it.
Here, Myron and Glenn is helping feed the calves at Roberts, Idaho, and they in their hats. They always wanted to look like their dad, and so they put on these hats, look just like their dad.
I asked Glenn one time if he had fed all the animals, and he says, yes, I've fed the mama pig, the papa pig, and all the babies.
Here they always enjoyed going out and working. This is at Roberts, Idaho, and their straw hats.
We always enjoyed picnics together out in front of the home. All the children and Larry.
And never forget when we went over to Roberts, they always brought lunch over there when we was working the first year and in the first spring. Weren't living there, we was living in Roberts or in Louisville. They'd always bring lunch over. We always enjoyed that.
Our second boy, what a joy, what a blessing. Glenn was so happy to have a brother. He had blonde, beautiful curls. We hated to cut his hair. Larry one time took him to cut his hair, and all the girls started crying, so I had to call the barber and say, don't you cut his hair, bring him home.
Here is when he was walking home when he was in kindergarten, and his mother took him to the kindergarten and left him, and there was no kindergarten there that day, and so he started walking home, and he walked past this place, and he said he knew that he was on the right road because he saw the chickens, and our neighbors down the road had a bunch of chickens, so he knew he was on the way home. He wasn't lost.
He's so cute that all you children have enjoyed Christmas and Santa Claus. Here he is sitting on Santa Claus' lap.
Here he is in his Mickey Mouse shirt. He always enjoyed this shirt. Here his hair is turning black.
He's a
all-
comedy, this kid is. He loved trick-or-treating and he'd dress up like Jerry Lewis and go out. People enjoyed having him come because he was such a comedy. His friend Melinda. And when he was baptized, his father's baptized all the children and blessed all of them.
Here Glenn and Myron are together at the night when Myron was baptized. This was quite an occasion for Myron to. He was 8 years old, and we went that night. And then after he was baptized, we went over to North Chuckwagon and had a dinner all together, and he really enjoyed this evening.
He has enjoyed school too. He loves football, has good friends.
He's starting to get his permanent teeth here, and they're just a little bit larger than. It looks like he's got a mouthful of teeth. This is a shirt that was made for him, and he's always enjoyed wearing these shirts.
Janie made these boys some lovely knit shirts, and they did enjoy them.
Here's Myron with his dog. He's always really enjoyed these dogs, and they know Myron because
That's his Boxy, I believe.
he'll be away for a while, and when he comes home, why they always yip and holler and he takes them in his arms and loves them. Here he received his Eagle Award in scouting, the highest award in the scouting program. Very proud of him. Here Glenn is speaking at his Eagle presentation, and they'll always remember this. Here we're pinning a badge on Myron.
Brother Worthen helped Myron very much in receiving his eagle. He's able to put his name now on the list of all the other eagles in the ward. You can see Glenn at the back there.
This was in the Ag Expo show at Caldwell, Idaho in the spring of 1987. We represented Swiss Village cheese there. Here was Myron holding old Blue. He enjoyed this horse, but now we're going back to the Ag Expo show. This is Glenn, and we talked to a lot of people there at that time, and we had 2 lambs there. They always enjoyed going with me to the Ag Expo show.
Our grandchildren, Jesse, Leisha, Micah, and Seth. What a joy to have grandchildren. Here's Jesse and Leisha when they were just little kids. The whole family and Kathy.
Micah, Seth, and all of her children at that time.
Jesse, when Myron got baptized, was scared that Myron was going to get hurt. He's been so close to Myron.
They've always enjoyed each other, their companionship, and here all the bronc riders are riding on Glenn's back.
Benjamin with his hat on, and Micah holding on, and Glenn is a bull. Here's Ross and Kathy and their first 2 children, Jesse and Leisha. Aren't they cute?
That Micah, he's going to be quite a horseman riding. He could ride on Glenn's back and just get in rhythm with it. Glenn would have a hard time bucking him off. Here we have a picture of Kelsey and Ross and Jesse. Here we have Jesse, Leisha, Micah, and Seth.
Micah was scared that the kitty was going to get hurt here. Jesse was just a tiny baby. Kathy and Ross has changed a little bit. Jesse got caught in the cookie dough.
He sure looks a lot like her. Sarah looks a lot like Jesse does.
All the kids loved to bath in Grandma's sink.
Here they enjoyed the bath in Grandma's sink. Here Jesse is riding a workhorse, and Always enjoyed being with his dad, working the horses, riding horses, and here he's waving to the photographer. He was a cute little, handsome, young baby.
2 years old. Has his little Sunday outfit on.
Nelda sewed this as trousers for him, and he sure looked cute in those trousers and that little white shirt. Here is his plaid shirt. He and Ross had plaid shirts almost alike, and he always loved his dad. He always wanted to be like his dad, so here he had a plaid shirt just like his dad.
Going to school. Here he's going to school. He thinks he's as smart as the teacher. And he thinks everything his teacher says is just right. Getting ready for him to be baptized.
This was prior to his baptism. He was 8 years old. This was at the Stake Center on Nampa South Stake Center. We took his picture right under this picture of the Book of Mormon picture. Here is Leisha. He's always been a protection to Leisha, and always loved Leisha. And he would fight a buzzsaw for her if he thought she was going to get hurt. Here she's sitting on on Santa Claus's lap.
Leisha loves to ride horses too.
This was a big workhorse when they lived over at Taylor's. Ross always enjoyed working these horses. This is a picture of Ag Expo of Leisha and Jesse and the little lamb that we had there in a pen. Here's Christmas time for Leisha. It's always been an enjoyable time for Kathy and her children. Ross and Kathy and her children. Christmas time, they always enjoyed it.
When she was this age, she said she didn't like to smile. It's when Janie got married, but now she's getting older. She's decided it's nice to smile, and she's starting to smile just a little bit more, Leisha. Isn't she cute?
She has beautiful blonde, long hair.
When David Long came to take her picture, he says, I'd like her as a model now. Here she's on Santa Claus' lap when she's just a little baby.
She always enjoyed Christmas too. Here, Susan.
And Leisha. It's when Leisha went and stayed with Ann at BYU. Stayed a whole week. Micah, when he was just a little baby, he was such a big, lovely boy. He loves Santa Claus, and he went and sat on Santa Claus' lap.
He's always been a joy. Kathy's family. One day when Ross was over in Meridian, when they lived there, he was up on top of the granary checking the grain, and big high steel granary there, and he turned around there. Micah was right behind him. Almost shocked him worse than did Micah, because there Micah was coming up and got right up on top of the granary.
He also got a butcher knife and was going to go outside and get a Christmas tree. Kathy had to run and get it. Here's our daddy Longlegs. Isn't he a lovely boy? Seth.
I always enjoyed this little guy. He had dimples on his elbows there, and that's something that he'll always have with him. And he's always loved his brothers and sisters, but he's quite a scrapper. He really loves to
He straightens them out.
keep their days straight for them.
Here's our two farmers. Aren't they cute? Here's Seth and Micah. Our Seth, when we took him to Salt Lake, he saw the fountain, the water fountain in the Temple Square, and he wanted to go swimming. He was going to go swimming in that fountain. Until finally we had to let him take his shoes off and go in. Here's Sarah Jane when she first came home from the hospital between Leisha and Micah. Isn't she a cute baby? Her day when she was blessed, she looked just like a little rosebud.
She's always had a personality of her own, and she knows what she wants, and she usually gets it because she's always got older brothers and sisters and her mom and dad. Here was our trip that we went to out to the coast, and we took some wool down to Salt Lake, and we put a blanket over it in the van. We loaded it in the van, and she just slept right between the two big sacks of wool. Here, Janie and Rob, when they got engaged and announced their marriage. This is Janie when she got married. The Idaho Falls Temple, Kay and Ruth Foster, and Myron Evans.
Real proud of Janie when she sent this to us. This is a newspaper clipping of Lonnie and Benjamin and Janie and how she cooks there in North Dakota. Their first baby, Benjamin. Isn't he a cute baby? He's so smart. Here he is asleep on their waterbed. And they sent a picture of us to us with his bottle. You know, he is so smart. I believe he knew how to talk when he first came to Earth. And he looks like he can talk.
He's always been quite a card, and I'll never forget here, not too long ago, I was talking to him on the telephone, and I told him about going to the sale and raising his hand and buying him a sheep and putting in his yard. He says, "Oh, Grandpa, you're teasing me."
They came to see us on the airplane to get their home ready to sell. We enjoyed them that week for so much. We had to take them to the airport, say goodbye to them. Had to take a few of the pictures before they left. When Rob and Janie were here before they did leave.
This was just before they left to go to Dickinson, North Dakota. Here they are, all of us together at Dickinson. And this was in Emmett, Idaho, when Janie and Rob sold their home to move to Dickinson. We went there and helped them move. It was kind of a sad occasion to have them leave, but they've enjoyed Dickinson, and they've received a lot of growth, and they've really enjoyed it. This is Lonnie.
Our baby doll.
This was when she was blessed in Dickinson. We weren't able to go to see her blessed, but we know that this was quite an occasion,
Our sweetie pie. Doesn't she just look like an angel? They were so proud of her, and we are so proud of her.
What Benjamin can't think of, why Lonnie can, and they play follow the leader. And one time Janie heard him laughing in the front room, and Lonnie was up on a chair and had her hand in the goldfish bowl trying to catch the goldfish, and they were both laughing at each other and really having a big time.
On Christmas morning when she opened her presents, how she enjoyed that little puff and hat we sent to her. They have a sand pile out in the back, and there they get in the sand and the mud and really enjoy themselves. When Myron received his eagle, we all danced when we come home, and Benjamin and Lonnie took each other's hands and they started dancing. We all had such a good time. Now, if you notice in this picture, Seth and Benjamin's bathing together, and they're shaving. They got their shavers out and they're shaving. Lonnie's a regular duck here. The water we turn on, and she gets her head right underneath the water and lets it come in.
She's always enjoyed water and always enjoyed swimming. She would get in the bathtub, and usually they're afraid to have their head go under the water, but it didn't matter. She'd just stick her head under the water, and she really enjoyed it. This is our soccer player. This is Benjamin, and he's always been a very active little boy. Here he is, Daniel Boone. and he and his dad had coon skin hats. And here he has his glasses on, and
Groucho Marx.
here is Lonnie, and she's always enjoyed playing with her toys, and here she is with Grandma Kershaw.
I dreamed that Lonnie would come up and sit on my lap and love me. When they come and see me, she did. She come and sit up on my lap. Here they are dressed just alike. They look so cute in these little outfits. I had such a joy making them.
Here's Daniel Boone and Davy Crockett in their coonskin hats. Benjamin and Rob. At this time, why, I'll never forget, Benjamin got a hold of Ann, and they would go around in circles, and he says, "Do it again, Annie, do it again."
He's caught in the cookie doll hair. Janie had to send. Do you know when Lonnie was just this age, the dog bit her, and she come in and told. She couldn't talk, but we sure understood. She showed her teeth and said, we knew she'd gotten bit. They love Ann, and Ann loves them so much when they come. She has a shopping cart, and she put Lonnie in it, and away they went shopping clear through the house. They had such a good time. And when Myron got his eagle, she ran around the church, and the kids was chasing her, and she'd get on the floor and kick.
Here they are when they was leaving to go back to Dickinson. And it was Rob and Janie, and here's Leisha and Lonnie Joe. At that time, they was the only two granddaughters we have, but since then, why, Sarah has come. This was
one of our favorite trips to Dickinson.
This was when we went to Dickinson, North Dakota.
Proud of Janie and Rob. They sent a picture when they went to the temple in Denver. We're so happy for them. When we went on our trip, we went to Mackey. And there, Maxian, we had this beautiful river. Is that Max Lake? Or
Maxian, that's...
the lake is...
No, this is a river right there that runs by Maxian.
And we rented one of these boats, and each one of us had a turn. And the kids, this is such a special trip for us. And we just relaxed here. And here we paddled. Each one of us had a turn of paddling all over the lake, Max Lake here. Here's Grandpa and Grandma and their two navigators, Jesse and Leisha.
This is where we had lunch the first day after we left Uncle Myron's and Grandpa Kershaw's. And I'll never forget dropping an olive and picked it up and put it in my mouth and bit down on it and had a little rock in it and broke my tooth. Here we are in Salt Lake City, and you'll see on top of the flagpole there is a seagull, a live seagull standing on top of that flagpole. Here we are on our trip to Oregon. When we went to Oregon, why, we really enjoyed that trip. It was a special occasion to go on that trip. Here we are at the power plant, and here was a picture of the ocean. When the kids seen that ocean, they really got a kick out of it. The big waves coming in. This is a picture of along the Oregon coast, and we took this picture, and here we have the kids climbing in the tree. And they really enjoyed that campground because we could go over to the ocean, or we were all together there at that time. Here we are along the Oregon coast. Never forget, I think it was or Brenda that left her purse there. And we went down the road just a little ways and turned around and was headed back, and some people stopped us and said, "Are you looking for this?" And it was her purse. They caught up with us and gave us the purse back to us.
The seagulls coming in on the ocean. This is such a sight for all the children to see. Seth started running towards the ocean, and all of a sudden he stopped and seen it. And it was such a 20-foot high water coming in. It was really frightening. But such a beautiful place. The trees are just all green and beautiful.
Here we are camped in the campground there, and we stayed there for 2 nights, and we really enjoyed it. We went on over to the Columbia River, and we had the special privilege of seeing where they built these fortresses during World War II in case the Japanese would come up the Columbia River with their ships so that they could protect the coastline.
Here's that water fountain where Seth had to go swimming. He got his shoes off, and sure enough, he had to go into that water fountain. Here's the favorite picture of all the kids again. I hope they enjoy this. This coastline was so beautiful, and we just had such a marvelous time on going into the coast and seeing Larry with his suit, and going to church. All of our family here in Salt Lake City on our way. We were able to see all of the Temple Square, all the beautiful things.
Here we are in front of Swiss Village Cheese at Namp, Idaho. This is Paul Brogue, one of the owners of it. This is where Grandpa Kershaw works. Here we have a picture of the flag. This was a very clear day. Notice how blue the sky was and how beautiful it was. And I'm so thankful for that flag and for what it represents and what it stands for. Here is at the Canyon County Fair in 1987, Myron with his lamb. He enjoyed showing these lambs. Got quite a kick out of it. It was always quite a struggle to break them so that he could work with them in the ring, in the show ring. Here we have Glenn with his lamb, and he always enjoyed showing his lambs. They done pretty good on their lambs this year. Got a pretty fair price, and they had some real good lambs. Here's a picture of me just prior to going on my mission. Here, Nelda's picture of her mission picture.
June the 20th.
1958. Sugar City, Idaho. Pictures were taken after we'd returned from the temple and prior to our wedding reception that night. Here we have a picture of a bride's bouquet.
What was in that bouquet?
An orchid. A very beautiful orchid with roses.
Now we have large photos of all of our children, and we thought that each one would enjoy seeing each brother and sister on these. Kathy when she was 2, when she's 3. When she's 4. Doesn't she look like Jessie there?
She sure does. Her little pigtails. She was sure serious. There's in her beautiful dress, beautiful long dark hair, ringlets. Very beautiful.
Going to school. Just getting ready to go to school.
She went to first grade and second grade there in Louisville, where I went to school, started school. But since then, why, they've burnt the schoolhouse down. So here's Ann, picture of Ann when she was a baby.
Our Julie Ann Kershaw, 2 years old. Such a joy in our life. Kathy and Ann together. We had Christmas cards sent out with these pictures on. She always loved red. This is a red plaid dress. Her hair's getting so long, so natural curly.
Here she is just prior to going to school. She's always enjoyed school. This was when she was going to school, one of her school pictures. And her in the yellow dress. This is time when she was at Roberts. Now she's getting older and the Kuna, Idaho.
Our Janie, our spice of life. Her blessing outfit, blue. This is peach outfit here, and that she has her ball. Such an intelligent child. This is just about the age when she ran after that rabbit. Her little hair was, maybe she was just a little older. She had a little bit longer, but pretty soon she cut it.
Yeah.
She loved to cut hair for a while there. And so Larry would help her out and help her and cut a little bit better.
Never forget one time that her and her mother had it out and she was going to run away from home. So her mother told her to get her stuff in a pillowcase, and so she did. And I seen her going down the road, and I went over and asked her where she was going, and she says she was going to run away from home. And I says, well, wait a minute, and I'll go get my stuff and I'll run away with you, because I couldn't see her leaving home.
And of course she didn't want him to leave, so she come back with. That photo was when, just before she was married. What a beautiful girl she is. Here's Susan. She's so cute. Such a cute baby. Like I said, she's such a pixie. She could see something funny in everything. Her eyes glistened and smile, so cute.
She's getting a little older now, and it seems like she always loves to pose and take these pictures.
She loved animals. She loved her cats, especially. I believe that's her favorite, but she loves dogs too, but she just loves her animals.
One year we had bum lambs, and she took them to the school and let the kids play with them. She's always loved little animals. This is little Brenda Jo when she was just a baby, and
her white blessing dress. Such a beautiful baby. She loved this dog that the photographer gave her. She didn't want to leave it. She wanted to keep it. She enjoyed her picture taken with this little dog. All the girls had a dress like this one. They were all dressed alike here. Brenda getting ready to school. Just about ready to go to her first grade. It was hard for her to move from Louisville to go into Roberts. Here she's at Rick's, going on one of her dates. Her formal, beautiful. Here's our Glenn, our first boy, with his football. We waited to have him blessed until his blessing outfit was just too little for him, so we had to knot button at the bottom so that he could wear it and get blessed. The doctor said when he was born that I would have to keep the cookie jar full because he was a big man. He would be a big man. Such a tease to all his sisters, but such a sweet brother.
He's always enjoyed livestock, and he's here a picture of him with a scout uniform with all of his merit badges. Myron and Glenn sitting on Santa's lap. Always been good friends to each other and brothers. Myron, when he was just a babe.
So grateful to have him. Our second boy, and Glenn was so happy to have a brother. And Larry and his two boys, how proud. Glenn was always so proud of these cowboy boots that he wore. And Myron, this coat that he loved, he says, I want one taken with my coat. So the photographer let him have his coat, have his photo taken with his coat. Let's get started going to school here. So cute. Here's our favorite picture, I guess, just when he turns from a little boy to becoming a young man, I guess. He's going to school and enjoying himself. Glenn is a scouter. He does enjoy scouting.
Glenn in his Mickey Mouse shirt.
That's not Glenn, Larry.
I mean Myron. Myron in his Mickey Mouse shirt. He always loved his dogs, his cats, his horse.
Getting older here, going into grade school now. Now he's a freshman in high school. And here they're older with their father. And Myron, sophomore. Our whole family here at this time, Ross and Kathy and their two children. This was just before Janie got engaged. And she was working at school here, and this is when Ann was at BYU and she couldn't make it home. So we had the whole family except Ann, and of course the two that are married. But here's Myron and Glenn and Susan and Brenda, just before Susan left on her mission. Here's Ann when she come home off her mission. And she a beautiful girl. Kathy and Ross, when they got married, May the 3rd. The Idaho Falls Temple, Jesse. They had a few duplicates here, but I think that all of you will enjoy this. Alicia, in front of the fireplace at Christmas time. Ross and Jesse in their plaid shirts, and so cute. Alicia, this is on her birthday. This is one of the dresses that she got for her birthday, so I remember that. And Micah, when he's just a little boy. He's pretty sober there. He wondered if he was going to the doctor or to the photographer. And this is when Seth, just learning to stick his tongue out. They got such a cute picture of him while he was looking at them.
Here Kathy and Ross and Jesse. It's when Jesse was very young, and here Alicia and Jesse and Ross and Kathy. Their little family started, and they've always enjoyed and loved their children. Janie and Rob, engagement picture. Rob and Jeannie wedding picture. This was quite an occasion for him, and here, little Benjamin.
Isn't that a favorite photo of him? So cute and so little. Benjamin and Lonnie, so proud of this. Janie made this frame for me, so I enjoyed looking at this. Benjamin and Lonnie last Christmas in 1986. They sent this to us. Wasn't this the cutest pictures of Benjamin in his outfit? We were so happy because I happened to make these two outfits, and they look so cute in them. There they are together. They look so proud of each other. Isn't she a baby doll? She knows what she wants, but she is a baby doll.
She usually gets what she wants, too. This is here, Grandpa Kershaw.
1907, I believe it was, in St. Anthony. And the photographer said, look out. And he thought the photographer was going to shoot him, so he hid behind his dad, if you'll watch. Here's all my brothers and sisters and mother and dad when we were just little. Here we are out in front of our place in Sugar City, my whole family.
I really enjoy seeing him, especially Grandpa and his sons dressed in bib overalls.
Here's my cousins, my mother's sister and her children that we all played with, Delwyn and Geneve and Myrna and Darrell, Edna, Lamar, Barb, and Mona. And these are the cousins that I played with when I was growing up. My sister Marjorie and Lynn at their home in Archer. This is all their grandchildren and children. Linda and Marcia, Ruth, Donna, Sarah, Bev, and Lynn. They have one boy and 6 girls and their grandchildren. Isn't that a beautiful family? Elihu and his wife Barbara Grover Evans, and this was taken in front of her grandmother's window in her home in Archer. This one, of course, was supposed to be with Kathy, so their son Eddie, though, is here, and we, of course, had him for a while until Elihu married Rhea. Here he is out at Sugar City playing at Grandpa and Grandma's yard. Here's Elihu and all of his family, Rhea and all their family except one. They had one more also. This is a lovely photo of them. Here's Arlo and Wandaloo and all their family. And Joseph is in the front there. He's the same age as Glenn. There's Joy, and she's the same age as Kathy, and Luann, and Gregory, and Evan, and Rocky. Here's Shirley, Lou Stacy, and her 3 boys, and Lori and their baby, Lori and Myron, when he was just a little boy, about 2 years old. He's real close to me, and we played together. His 2 boys, Mike and David, feeding the lambs. We hope all of you will have a wonderful year. We love you so much.